Hello, welcome to Align and Activate Your Spiritual Biz. So, my name is Amy, and I am a light language channel and a coach for light workers and healers who are ready to own their gifts, become empowered, and create amazing healing businesses. And today, and as always, I've got the beautiful and amazing
Jennie Priestner. So I'm a manifestation and mindset mentor, master NLP practitioner, channel and healer. So I help spiritual biz owners overcome fear and self-doubt to embrace their divine power and manifest a thriving soul-led business because that is what we came here to do.
Oh, I love the passion in that. I love that. I feel like each week for both of us, it's just like the message is just like getting more and more powerful, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
I felt that in my soul. Beautiful. Okay, so today's subject then is what is it, Jenny? Getting
It's
visible.
getting visible in your spiritual biz.
Okay. Yeah. And before we go ahead with the content today, if you are enjoying this podcast, please do go ahead and like and subscribe and share with anybody that you feel will benefit from what we're doing here. So getting visible, I'll just put my specs on. Getting visible, that's in alignment with what I'm saying, isn't it? Getting actually visible in your spiritual business. That was totally like unintentional, but there you go. Right. Getting visible in your spiritual business. What does this even mean? Okay, so I'll start then with this one as to like what I think it means. So it's about showing up. Okay. So you've got this business, you've got gifts to share and it's about you. The way that I like to describe it is broadcasting your light, radiating, shining, because I work with like light workers mostly. And it's about you shining in your business. What would you say that is?
For me, then, obviously, I do love the broadcasting because I see that as like the transmitter of like the energy and the thoughts. So for me, though, I would see it as it's similar, just different wording is sharing your energy. And I think most of the time is sometimes we think we've got to be doing things in certain ways, but most of the time it can just literally be the showing up that matters, if that makes sense. Because and I don't want to skip too far ahead, but I think
Yeah.
sometimes like we get weighted on the outcome. And I understand as biz owners, we've got to understand that, we might be posting for it to actually have an outcome. But what I find with most things is people have even not liked or commented a post, but then maybe a month later, they're like, oh, I saw that video that you did and I got so much from it and they've given me a massive thing. And that is the difference. If I'm showing up and getting visible for the sake of getting a like at the end of the day, it's all about sharing your energy because sharing what you have to offer can help heal someone else, can help someone else. And so in that instant, if that makes sense, it's like by me sharing what I was wanting to say, it did the job, even though, it didn't seem like it did. I didn't get any ticks or likes because that's all validation. But yeah, it's your sharing of your knowledge, your energy, and your expertise.
Beautiful. And there's something there like around you doing what you're doing from a really pure place. Okay, you're not doing it to get validation. Now it's nice to receive validation. Let's not all lie and pretend that we don't care about the validation because we humans, the human brain appreciates reward and validation, the dopamine hit, whatever, right? So you've got to acknowledge that part of you that does like that, but that's not the reason why we do what we do. Okay, because we're doing it, like you said, it's about sharing your energy and you knowing that you're here to with a mission, right? You're here to share your soul purpose with others. And honestly, I don't think that there's anything more fulfilling than that, from actually you doing your work, from you giving from that pure place and others receiving from that. and you being able to facilitate a transformation. And this is what, I really like to think about it like this, is that, every piece of content that I create, I always want to be thinking about, what is the transformation here from the person that's going to be receiving this? And the thing is, like you're saying, Jenny, it's like, you can create a piece of content and then it might not get any likes, and you put your heart and soul into it. It's not then looking at what the 3D physical reality is presenting you with in that moment. It's really you trusting in your energy that you're sharing and broadcasting and transmitting, and knowing and believing that that is actually enough. And that's when it comes back to you a month, a year down the line, when people are like, I've been following you for ages and I've been watching you content, reading your newsletter. And then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, now I want to work with you. And they might never work with you. You might just receive, like a thank you or whatever, and you might not even get that. It is just literally about you being you, giving your gift, because that's what you're here to do.
Yeah, it's totally true though, isn't it? Because, and what, just tying into what you said there, I feel like if we are still seeking validation from things, because I'm not going to lie, at the beginning of my journey, at the beginning of my business, like it is disheartening to honestly to create a post. Like sometimes, like, because I'm not verbally, I'm a very articulate person, but sometimes when I'm writing stuff, it just doesn't agree with me. So most of the time I have poured my heart and my soul into writing it. And then when you get no likes, like it did used to be very disheartening, but I've really turned a corner now, because as a spiritual business owner and having done lots and lots of work on my mindset, I now understand that it's just about sending my energy out there. It's not about sat there like, who liked it? Why did they like it? Well, if they didn't like it, then that must mean I'm shit. Like, again, this all ties back to programming and mindset, and it's releasing expectations and releasing the outcome. So if you're sat there thinking, right, from this one post, I'm going to get 10 likes and two clients, it's okay. Yeah, we all like a goal to manifest with, but at the end of the day, though, expectations lead to disappointment. So it's like with the universe, it always says to you, doesn't it? It's like, just put yourself out there and just watch what happens, like release the expectation of it. So yeah, if you are still showing up and sharing, but then seeking the validation, and I understand there is a dopamine hit behind it, but again, it's about switching that down and just showing up for showing up's sake sometimes, if that makes sense. Because if you've got something to say, you're sharing your knowledge. It's not always like, well, if I give you this, then I want something in return. It's not always like that. It is just a case of, we are here just to share, to channel, to give energy. And there's been many instances, for example, like you just said there, didn't you? Not everyone is going to buy from you. And it's like I find that with quite a lot of Instagram gurus and stuff, they give so much knowledge. And there's not any, I'm not going to be working with them by any chance, but I used to be screenshotting all the stuff quite a lot. So their energy and their information, their expertise was very valuable to me because I needed that. But I might not have had, the intention to go and purchase and buy with them, but they were still doing their job, if that made sense. So you've got to kind of get past sometimes with visibility. It's like, oh yeah, but if I get visible, then this is going to be the outcome. It's sometimes it's a case of you being visible because you came here to share your energy. So obviously there is going to be some monetary exchange somewhere along the line, but you just need to get past that. Everything's got an ulterior motive, like this is going to get me that and this is going to get me that. Because if you're always thinking of it in a money way, then it's not the vibration of helping people with everything that you're doing when you're getting visible. It's always about what can I do to help people? And it's with that vibration and with that energy that you're then putting out. Those are the people that are going to resonate with it, and then it will come back, if that makes sense. I feel like I went on loads of tangents there, but stay with me.
Yeah, you'll be fine. We'll be fine. So
Connect
like
the dots.
connect the dots. I want to just come back to something you said there about like giving things a meaning, and this is where like your mindset work really does come in. You're reprogramming, you're working with the inner child and all that stuff. It's like, because we give everything meanings from our perspective, right? And it is really, really easy, especially, when you first start in your business, like, and you know, and it looks like on the outside nothing's happening. So you're like, oh, like, fuck this, it's not working. No one cares, right? That, you know, like no one cares, right? And it's like you've got to get past that. And it is uncomfortable, because the meaning that you may give it, and I know the meaning that I've given it in the past before I started to, you know, work with my inner child, is that I'm being rejected, I'm being abandoned, as in, like, you know, this isn't going to work. Do you know what I mean? Like, no one wants me. And it's those things, those childhood wounds, and, you know, the reprogramming work and the healing work that is absolutely detrimental and foundational to having a successful business and to actually being visible. So there's a lot more that goes into it, rather than you just like creating reels or doing a post or whatever. It's really important that you are doing that work as well, because if you don't do that work, your energy is going to be in a contracted state, and that may also look like second guessing yourself, not putting yourself out there, not being authentic, hiding parts of you, instead of just, do you know what I mean? Like, just fully being you, right? It's like, it's really going to affect your business if you just ignore that. And every time you're getting triggered, and obviously we can go into this in like further podcasts, can't we? Do you know what I mean? Like, how to do all this, right? But today we really are just talking about like being visible and how to be visible. But I just wanted to touch on that for a moment, because the meaning that you give things is what you really want to be looking at. Like, what is the meaning that I am giving this? And actually challenging that in your mind. Is that ultimately true? Like, is it true that I'm being rejected in this moment? Do you know what I mean? Like, am I gonna die? Because no, you're not. Like, you're not gonna be cast out of the tribe, don't worry. Like,
Because I'm just going to be truly honest here. It's like a statistic, isn't there, that says that, you know, most businesses flop within the first year. I don't quote me. I don't know what the statistic is. Amy, do you know it? Like, have you heard
it's
of it,
a
haven't you?
lot. Yeah, it's a lot of business, and they say, like, you know, if you get into the point where like you 2 years in, then you're like doing good. And it's something like in the first year you lose money, and like in this, I don't know, but go on, sorry, carry on. What was you gonna
Yeah, so it
say?
was that, but like in all honesty, and I say this on some of my posts and my reels sometimes, it's like I think the idea of what we thought it would be would just be showing up, saying, I do this is what I offer, da, 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 and people be like, oh yeah, I want to come and work with you. Oh my God, that's
Yeah.
amazing. When really, in reality, getting visible and showing up, it's longevity. It is a long game, because you have got to create a brand. You have got to
Mm-hmm.
create,
Mm-hmm.
like, I say a shop window because that's what people speak about on Instagram, but people like the whole picture of, this is who I am. This is what I offer. This is my background. This is how I've helped other people. This is the result that I get. So it is a case of getting visible requires you to show off all aspects of that business, of all compartments of that. It's not just a case of like, this is what I do. Do you want to come work with me? Because, like, whether that's Reiki, medium, a coach, there's plenty of Reiki's, mediums, and coaches out there. But it's about tapping into what your uniqueness is, which is your energy. Like, nobody else has got your energy. They might have
Yeah.
a little bit of your personality, they might have a little bit of your accent, but no one has got your energy. No one is 100% you. And this is what I say to my clients. Like, and this is one thing that people do, is they play the comparison game. And they're playing the
Mm.
comparison game because they're not confident in their abilities, because they're fearing putting themselves out there 100%, because person A is absolutely smashing it. But person A is smashing it because they're putting their energy into it 100%. So this is what it's about. It's about accepting who you are 100%, not looking at anyone else for comparison, and just putting yourself out there. And like we've said, if you are like hoping that this post is like going to get me so many people, it's about just sending love and sending out the intention that I hope this post helps someone, because it is with that vibration then. And I just got boost bumps. I've got moose gumps. Goosebumps. I've got goosebumps saying that because that's what it's about. It's the energy and the intention that you're putting out to it. So yeah, I think that is quite an important one with that.
I really love the fact that you use the word longevity there, because I think people, and honestly, this is what it's about. Like, you are playing the long game. It is the long fucking game, right? It's not the,
So fucking
like,
long.
yeah, but it is though. It's like, are you truly called to this, or are you not? Do you know what I mean? Because if you truly are, and you truly believe that it's your life purpose to do this work, and by the way, it's beyond worth it, having done this full time now for 2.5 years, honestly. But a lot of people give up because they've got an idea of what they think it's going to be like, and they give up too soon. And I would just say, if you truly are called to this, then you're never going to give up, because this is what you're here to do. But in the beginning, it's going to take time for people to know who you are, right? And it's going to take you continuously showing up. And the thing is, with today's world, there's a lot of this online, like, so many options online now, right? And I don't like the word saturated, because I don't believe that. I've never ever subscribed to that or given my energy to that, which is, I think, why I've been able to do what I do. I really agree with you. Like, nobody else can be you. But the way that you stand out online, I don't even think it's a case of that, but the way that you magnetize your people is you showing up as you in your energy, and knowing that your energy is enough, but you do still have to take action. You can't just sit there on your couch and be like, come on, clients, because you've got to do the work. People have to know who you are, right? But I do think with the longevity thing, there's a lot of shit online these days where it's like, make 10K in your first month. And I'm not saying that that's not possible, and there aren't people that do that. That definitely can be a thing. But for the majority of people, it's not, right? And it's not for the people that I work with, because they're healers, right? They're Reiki healers, they're light workers. And, there's a lot of high ticket stuff. Again, there's nothing wrong with that either. But there's a lot of it seems like there's a lot of get rich things that are out there. And I will be honest with you, from working with different coaches and things like that, with those types of things, what I have found is that over time, these people have burnt out, and they've burnt out really, really badly. So it's like longevity, running, you know what I mean? It's like, what's that phrase now? Is it about the turtle? The turtle wins the race.
Turtle in the hair, yeah.
Yeah, because it's taking the small, consistent daily actions whilst managing your own energy and your own self-care as a healer, and being willing to be uncomfortable and still take action and still show up. And over time, these things are going to compound on themselves. They're going to create a new belief system in you, where you're going to be like, all right, okay, well, doing a live stream's easy. All right, okay, well, doing a ceremony's easy, right? Because you've built that belief system up by taking the action and by being uncomfortable. So again, also, I covered a lot there, didn't I? So I don't know what you want to add to that now.
I think just something you said there about get used to being uncomfortable, because this is what it's about. Like, when we are getting visible in our businesses, there's many barriers that we've got to work through. And I'll be honest, like, when we did a lot of honesty today, like, I'll be honest, but when we did our first ever podcast, and we record this just for the fact that obviously, like, just trying to fit it in around clients and things like that, it's just easier to do. And I remember the first time when we were about to press record, and my stomach was going for it, because I'd never done it before. And obviously just did a couple of deep breaths, and it's like, right, okay, let's do it. And then after that, I never experienced it again, because it was the unknown. And I think this is the thing, is when we're going to get visible, and there's a lot of people that I work with that don't even show the faces on stories. They don't show the faces on their accounts. Like, they'll take like a picture and then put text over it, but they're not, like, animated and showing up. And I'm like, it's so important, because if someone is going to work with you, they want to know how you talk, how you walk, what your personality's like. Are you going to be swearing? Are you going to be shouting? Are you going to be laughing? Are you going to be crying? Like, people buy you, like they're buying everything about you. Not what you have to necessarily offer, because like I say, there could be a few transformational lifestyle coaches that do the same thing, but it's like, well, which one am I going to resonate with most? So this is why it's important. And we mean visible as in like come out and share your energy, but sometimes we mean visible and like literally put your face on the screen, like be seen, because this is when people are going to be able to tap into like, yeah, like she's the one that I want to work with. Like, this is for me then. And so, again, this all ties back to mindset work of the comfort zone and the fear of the unknown, because our brains are wired to fear the unknown, because otherwise we'd be like leaping out of like, planes and things like that. To be like, yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. It's like we're wired to keep ourselves safe. But what we have to do is, like Amy just said, it's like it's incremental changes. And when you show up on a live, then it's like, right, okay, well, that wasn't so bad. So then it wires your brain then to be like, right, well, the next thing's not so bad, and each time you go to do something that's quite big and scary in your business, each and every time, after a while, it's like, well, I can do that. I can do that. And these are the things that I do with my clients when I'm going through the hints, the tips, the rewiring and how to do it all, that in the end, it's like, but it's just easy. And that's then when your business will start to grow, because you're not having to push through the boundaries. You're having to push through your own mindset barriers first. But once you've mastered those and everything's just like, yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do that. Everything becomes easy then. And when things are easy, we are flowing. And when we are flowing, that's when we start to kind of manifest more. But whereas trying to manifest in like trying to like walk through mud, like if you're trying to manifest from that state, I feel like my energy is sticking out trying to put myself out there. And that's what you're going to manifest back. But if you're putting yourself out there and delivering yourself to the universe, like unconditionally with no barriers of like, oh, I don't know if it's going to work out. I don't know if that's right. Once you're in the position to show yourself visibly, this is what I do and I'm happy doing it. This is when you're going to get clients, because they'll be like, they're feeling that confident energy and they know that, right, okay, this is what you say you can do. I believe that you say you can do it. Because again, when we are buying into a program or Reiki or something, or whatever it is that your spiritual business is, they've got to believe that you can offer them that result. And so most of the time, and I'm not speaking for everyone here, most of the time we are selling what we have achieved ourselves, because we know it's possible because we've achieved it ourselves. So if you're not showing that you can do that, so if you're telling everyone, I'm a fantastic Reiki master, I can do this healing, I can do that, but you can't show up and kind of like show yourself on videos or on lives or even like, do a workshop or put on an event or something like that, then it's like, well, she's telling me she can do it, but I can't see that she can do it. So again, though, visibility is kind of like the client's brain is sort of saying, right, okay, this person can actually do what they say they're going to do. I hope that was okay.
No, it's like brilliant. So it's like basically what you're saying is it's about like embodying what it is you're talking about. You're not just like sort of, you're not just saying you can do something. Do you know what I mean? You're actually doing it and you're demonstrating that you're actually doing it. So that comes up into the showing up and the visibility part, and there's something really powerful about that. And honestly, like I was just, when you were talking, I was just thinking back to, all of the time, because I've lost count of the amount of programs and things I've done now for the past 8 years. I don't even know, like so many. But honestly, I've never gone looking. I've never thought to myself, right, I want to go and do such and such coaching program, right? I want to go and do, a course on healing. I've never ever thought that. How it's come about is I've been scrolling or I've been on YouTube. It's come up on my algorithm. The person has been absolutely magnetic to me. I've not been able to stop watching them. And I've been like, whatever it is that person's got, I want that. And I'm doing their thing. So I've never gone in with the intention of, I've never gone and compared coaches. I've never gone and look at like price or anything like that. I've just I'm probably like one of them people
The
that
world's best buyer.
the world's best buyer.
See it,
I'm
want it,
that
have it,
person.
got it.
Yeah, and I'm not really a cautious buyer either. Like, I'm not a person that weighs up things because I just really trust in my
I'm
intuition.
gonna say that's your intuition though,
Like,
telling you like, yeah,
yeah,
like 2 feet
yeah,
first, go for it. I
yeah.
need this.
Yeah, and I don't understand people that do that either because I just go in. I'm like, and it's always apart from one situation, which was a massive learning curve where I joined a spiritual cult for 18 months of my life, which I'm not going to go into, but don't worry about it. You won't do that because you're here listening to us.
Join us.
Join us. We love
Subliminals.
we love you. We will change your life. like, like subliminal.
Do you remember your train of thought?
Yeah, you've totally wrecked it now. So my point is, apart from joining the spiritual cult,
Join us.
the
Right, go
way that
on.
you know it's a cult, by the way, is if as you get closer to the leaders, you will know if they are out of integrity with what they're saying. If something feels wrong, if something feels off, trust that. I didn't trust that at the time. That's
Cult Hat 101.
guano. But you didn't know you was getting that today, did you?
I feel
Right in
like
the
we need to
comments
rename it now.
Right in the comments below. Have you been in a spiritual cult? How was it for you?
Like and subscribe for more Cult Hat.
Yeah.
Right, come on now, let's get back to it.
Yeah, let's get back to it. So
Sensible
I'm
faces.
like what I was saying is I've never like proactively gone out looking for something. It's just that that person has been so good at delivering their message. Their energy has been shining. Something about that person when I've listened to them has made me feel more alive and inspired because they're embodying their truth and what it is that they're doing, and they really really are in love with what they do. And this is really important. You have to be so on fire for what you do in order to be able to speak about it in a way that then inspires and translates to other people wanting to work with you. And again, we can cover how to know in future videos. But what I'm getting at is if you really really do genuinely love what you do and you really do genuinely believe in that, then it's just a case of you starting to show up and talk about that with passion. And you don't even need to always be talking about what you do. So for example, we've got our friend Faith in the universe, right? So she is literally, I love Faith's energy. She'll literally stand in the kitchen with her kids. She's got this beautiful daughter called Florence, and she'll just be like going on about a day. She'll be like, are you, and do you know what I mean? And people will be like, she's really magnetic to listen to, isn't she? Because her energy is just like, she's just
She's so true and honest. And I
yeah,
think, again, though, it's the authenticity. She's not coming on. She's not, and I say this in a nice way, she's not like super tidied up in the background and like made sure that the baby's asleep. She's just
yeah,
stood there and she's
with the
being
kid.
100% raw
Yeah.
herself. And it's in that, though, that people are drawn to it because it's like, this person is authentic. And
Yeah.
this is what we're saying about when you're sharing your energy, where is it
Yeah.
with your what you're saying? Like with us, there's no airs or graces in what we're saying now. Like we're literally just
No.
started. I'm not gonna lie. No, I was gonna be like, I've got my pajama bottoms on, but I'm not. I am actually dressed up because I'm going out after this. But it's like you just relaxed, and when you relax, it's holding your energy. But if we were sat here trying to be two stiffs, like Beavis and Butthead, like, oh Amy, like you wouldn't listen to us because it's boring, isn't it? You know, when two people
Yeah.
are like trying to pretend to be something they're not. So I think with getting visible in your spiritual biz is just let your balls hang out, be right, just be.
Balls hang out.
It's a Family Guy, just letting your balls hang out, be right.
I love Family Guy. I've not watched it for
It's
years.
just about being comfortable. And the thing is, though,
Yeah.
being comfortable being yourself should be the easiest thing in the world. But the reason why it's not the easiest thing in the world is because we've got all these programs telling us, don't be like this, don't be like that. You can't speak like
Mm,
this, you can't speak like that. And in the end,
yeah.
that's why sometimes you can end up like like a dithering wreck, because inside is trying to be your authentic self, and then society's saying, but do this and do that and do that. And that is why my business is called Align Authentic Self, because this is what I teach people to do. I get them to remember who the fuck they are. And it's like, it's just liberating when you can show up as yourself in your business and just getting on camera like, listen, I've got to tell you about this client the other day. That is what makes people buy, rather than like, oh, I had a client the other day and well, they did, and that's boring, it's put on, it's fake, it's false, and it's not interesting. People are nosy. People are like to, like when you speak to people and it's like, just lean in and just chat to them because that's what they want. I feel like there's quite a lot of falsehood sometimes with being visible, of what people think other people want, when really people just want raw truth.
Yeah. They want to feel like you're their friend, right? And you talk on screen as if people are your friend. Like if you talk to people like that, people will resonate with you. And if people don't want to be your friend, that's fine. Like it's be my friend. Like, do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Like, but like people don't want the formal thing. They don't. And the majority of people, if you're in a spiritual like world, I'm not saying everyone, but I know my clients don't, and I know my clients' that makes sense. My clients.
Yeah, that
Like
makes sense.
it makes sense, doesn't it? English? Right? Yeah, it's like they don't want that. And I think the reason why we have this conditioning is because of the corporate culture. And we both come from corporate, isn't it? And it made me want to die. And I know it, I'm not saying that lightly, I actually did. And I know it made you want to die as well, didn't it? Because it's like people don't fucking want that.
That's why they don't let the windows open fully in office blocks.
They don't know, they actually don't. Right. So it's like, so then when people go into starting like the spiritual business, they believe that, because we've all got a lot of information and we can all give information, but tell me how that's going to transform my life. Do you know what I mean? It's like you can facilitate and demonstrate a transformation just by, so like in the beginning, I was talking to empaths and sensitive people, and I'd be like, so I went to the supermarket today and I didn't have a meltdown. And then I'd talk about, the steps that I'd applied to not have this fucking meltdown. Right. And it's just you living your life. It's just you talking about the daily things that you do. But people don't want just information. They want you. They want to get to know you. They want to, if people feel like they're your friend, again, to come back to that, they're going to invest in you, or they're going to follow you and receive what you have to give. Do you know what I mean? Because only a small percentage of people that follow you will actually end up working with you. And that's absolutely fine, because we're all here to be of service. But it's not about like this. It's not about like, like saying about faith. It's not, bless her, I'll have to get her to watch this. It's not about like having this perfect background. Look, I've got a fucking plastic thing and a plastic dragon. It's like,
I'm working on my background.
It's beautiful, isn't it? Everyone appreciate Jenny's new background.
H for Harvey, and it's his birthday today.
Yeah. H for Harvey, not heroin.
It's my crack den.
Don't know where that came from. H.
H for happy.
H for happy.
It's me subliminally selling heroin through the internet.
Secrets to manifesting your spiritual biz.
Oh my God.
Right. So it's like, yeah, anyway, I've talked a bit there. Do you want to add to that?
Right. So I feel like we have touched on this one, but so why is it important to get visible? And it's like, because this is how you get known. Like I said before, there's no point posting up like your price list, like, you want to buy from me? It's like people want to get to know you. Like they want to understand who you are. They want to understand how you are the way you are. And I think sometimes it can be that like, like, I mean, everybody likes speaking about themselves, but sometimes we can sort of say, yeah, but who wants to hear that? And it's like, but people do. They want to understand what journey have you been on that got you where you are today, that is making you the expert in your field that can then help them and teach them and pass on this knowledge. So in essence, it's like, it's important to be visible, to send, what's the word, activate your magnet to attract the clients, because this in essence is going to lead to success, which in essence is going to lead to moolah, bank, money, cashment, payment, coin, Bitcoin. Like, and that's at the end of the day though, if we're all sat here like, oh, I just started my business because I want to help people, like, yeah, I get that, we do, but we also do need payment from it because we got
Yeah.
bills. So that is the end of it all. Obviously, it is success in that form. So that is why it is important to be visible, because people just want to see your lovely little faces. They want to know what you do and how you do it and why you do it and what made you do it. So yeah, don't be afraid to bore people with your stories.
Yeah. And I feel like, just to come back to what Jenny was saying there, like it's okay to put a price list as long as you letting people know who you are. If you just randomly put, here's what I do, oh, I do Reiki, there's a price list. Well, no one cares. Like no one does care.
Nobody asked.
Like posting memes is not a business either. Like I really see this all the time. Like it's beautiful to share a meme. Like, like are you just sharing information, or are you letting people know who you are and what you do? And even more importantly than that, how you can help them, right? And what is the transformation of what it is that you actually do? But you just being you, again, to come back to what Jenny said, like, and you living your life and what you're currently moving through, and it's not like you have to share your most vulnerable darkest secrets if you don't want to in that moment, if it's really raw, but it's letting people know who you are. And the importance of that is you've either got a business or you've not, right? So it's like, are you a business or a charity? And charity is great and really important, but if you're a business owner, because that's what this spiritual podcast is about, spiritual biz, then you need to make money, and money requires you giving an exchange of service. And like I said before, you can't just sit there and just expect the people to come if nobody knows about you. You have to tell people about you and what you do in a way that helps them and is relevant to them. Think about them always first. It's about you, but it's about you helping them, right? I hope that makes sense.
No, it does massively, because I mean, I've even fell into this trap, and like when I was at the beginning of my business, and I was massively sharing the how, and I was like, I can do this, I can rewire
Yeah.
subconscious, I can do this, and it's like, obviously then I'd work with a business coach and things like that, so it'd
Yeah.
evolve. But anyway, more recently, there's an Instagram post which I think is really important. And this girl just kind of, it's a sponsored advert. And this girl just leans in and she's like, no one cares that you can rewire the subconscious mind. And I was like, oh,
Mm.
like, and it's true,
Mm.
because we all know that as coaches, Reiki workers, whatever, like
Yeah.
we all know what that is. But, a Norman nomad, like they don't really understand that. So it's like, yeah, but why am I going to pay like 2K to have my subconscious mind? I don't know what that is, rewired. And it's like, so you need to tell them what's in it for them. So yeah, it is really important. Always have your client in mind, always be results based focused, if that makes sense, of like what's in it for them, because people don't really care about your process, they care about what's in it for them, like what am I going to get at the end of this. So yeah, so we're just going to share now some different ways of being visible then. So in essence then we've got online and in person. So we'll do online first. So, and again, this is another massive thing that I work through with my clients, because overcoming that fear, and it's the self-doubt and this fear, these are like two of the biggest things that I see in the clients that I work with. But the fear of being seen, the fear of like showing up on social media, be that in your stories, your posts, your reels, and even in like masterclasses, people will go to create stuff and it's like, but I don't think anyone's going to come. And it's like, well, is that the energy to create from? Like, where's that coming from? Let's let's rewire your mindsets and find out where that's coming from. But it's
Yeah.
true though, like you've got to be able to put yourself out there. And if you have got those limiting beliefs that like no one's going to show up, then guess what? No one is going to show up, because that's the energy that you're putting out there. You've got to like, yes, this is going to be absolutely action packed. And again, this is why I work with coaches to help you. But yeah, stories and posts. And again, I work with people at the moment that won't go on camera on their business, and it's a massive thing. You know, are you going to buy from someone you've never spoke to before or heard from, should I say?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
Because you don't know what you're going to get. Imagine if, like, by the pictures, they're all like, and then when they came on and they're like, yeah, so I think what we're going to do in your first session is we're going to work on your fear. It's like, what? What have I signed up for? This person is not punchy. This person's not alive. This person's not awake. Where's the energy at? I can help you. Like, you know, like, this is why it's so important to show up as your authentic self and, you know, be loud and proud in what you do and who you are and what's your name and where do you come from? Like, kind of thing. So bring our syllabus into it. So yeah, showing up online, Amy Wamey.
Yeah, so online, I will be honest, Instagram's not my favorite, but I know it's yours. Like
Facebook, TikTok's all online. The
yeah,
World Wide Web.
yeah. My personal favorite is YouTube. And the reason why I love YouTube, and it's very old school, is because I've received so much from it. What I would say about the online thing is,
Oh, she's
where
leaning
do
in, she's
you
getting serious.
where do you go the most when you're online? You need to go there, right? So if you're so if we dicks, aren't we? Right. So if you go on YouTube the most and you go, so I go on YouTube and Facebook the most. So that's where I go to create content because that's where I want to go. And if you go on TikTok the most, I am on TikTok as well, I'm on Instagram as well, but primarily I enjoy, and how I've bought off people, right, is by watching people's live streams and by watching people's long form video content. So that's my personal favorite way to create. I love long form video. Now, that's not everyone's favorite way. Some people like to watch reels. I don't particularly watch reels. Yeah, or some people read stories. So you're more into like the Instagram side of things, aren't you, Jen?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
have got all of them, but I would say I put most of my energy into Instagram and then that posts onto Facebook for me.
Yeah.
And then TikTok's just my dumping ground for like what I can manage to put on there. So
TikTok, I absolutely love TikTok, but I don't spend any time on there, we'll be honest, really. And I could really do with probably spending a little bit more time on there for the algorithm. But I swear to God, TikTok is like the wild west of social media. And I know a lot of people have a lot of resistance to TikTok, but I swear to God, the people on there are amazing. Like for the spiritual community, they are so, like, I was gonna say reactive, but they so like friendly. I've had a lot of people that have come into my Facebook group from TikTok and people that have brought into stuff from TikTok because it's a very, very nice community on there. And obviously with everything where your attention and your energy goes. So yeah, here's like a mindset thing for you then with social media, because I hear this all the time, and probably you do as well. And like one of the things that I have to do in my program is like really work through people's limiting beliefs around social media, because I get it, right? Before I had my own business, I wasn't even on social media at all. I wasn't even on Facebook. I couldn't be asked with it. I was resistant to it. I like, what is this shit? Like, I don't care about what other people are doing. But when you have your own business, the reality is these days, it is one of the best ways, if not the best way, to communicate with people. Everybody is on social media, pretty much. Not everybody, but pretty much. So you have to learn as an entrepreneur to love social media and to see it as a tool. And you don't have to be on everything, right? You don't have to. You can just choose to focus on one or two platforms initially whilst you're building yourself up. But you've got to learn to see social media as a way of you transmitting, broadcasting, sharing your energy. If you don't do that, because you're like, oh, I want my own spiritual business, but I hate social media. Well, you're going to have to learn to love it. And we do a lot of the reprogramming with that, because you're not going to do very well. You're not, because like everyone's on social media now. again, I can't speak for everybody, but it's like if you go to a mind, body, spirit event, people are then going to follow you on social media. And you're then going to pop up on their social media over and over again. It's not likely that people these days are just going to buy from you the first time they see you, unless you're like me and you just buy your dream and you just trust your intuition, right? But like the majority of people are not like that. So you've got to change your inner story of social media and what it is for you. Like I say, I don't spend any time whatsoever on my personal Facebook. I don't use it for personal reasons. I use it as a way of sharing my energy, and it's incredibly effective when you learn to use it that way.
So true though, isn't it? Imagine nowadays like posting on a notice board at like the local shop. Reiki master and life coach, everyone in the estate will be like, what? Like, so
I
this
mean, I
is
have
the
done
place to
that,
be.
but it just, people are still going to want to follow you on social media from that leaflet.
Mm.
So you've got to learn to love social
Just because
media. I
you're
don't,
not on it doesn't mean that like everyone
yeah,
else isn't.
yeah. Like, and I know you went through this process with your social media because you weren't.
Like I'd had it, and I remember like my friend had asked me to be on it for years, and like once upon a time we used to share all the time, like when I was at uni. And then I think it was like when I'd started to wake up, I was just like, but I don't want people knowing what I'm doing, and I'm not really
Mm-hmm.
asked about what people are doing, so I came off it for ages. And again, when I started my business up, and it was like I had like 600 friends, I had barely anyone, and I've had to start, like adding people and being friends with people and creating my community to be
Mm-hmm.
able to put myself out there. And yeah, I had to go through that whole mindset of this is cringe, this is shit, don't want to do it, blah 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 blah. And it's like, because I remember back in the day when I put a picture up or something like that, get loads of likes or whatever. And obviously, like we said at the beginning, dopamine, ding 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 ding, validation. And then sometimes I like put a status up and then no one would comment or anything, and then it would play on my mind for ages. So again, this was one of the reasons then why I feel like I dialed down the social media. Then fast forward to when I needed to do my business, that old mindset had to be dealt with. And it got to, I'm at the point now where I'm like, I post, if no one likes it, then that's absolutely fine. Because like I say, people have messaged me saying, oh, I love that post, blah, 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 blah. But they've not liked it. But I still know that the message and the intention and the energy is reaching
Right.
the people that I need to reach. So that is what it's about. It's not about us like, oh, I'm doing such a good job. It's about just knowing deep down that if someone reads it, and they might not be people, I've had people buy from me or work with me, should I say, that have never even like popped up on any of like my likes or anything on Instagram. Like I like to call these secret assassins, and they are
Love
silently
that.
watching all your stuff in the background
I love
because assassins. And yeah, they just appear out of nowhere like, I really want to work with you. I feel like, I need your Align Authentic Self course. So yeah, it's don't always go off on that. So that's that one with social media. And then we've got in person then. And again, the whole getting visible is about putting yourself out there. It is about showing the world what you do. So again, this requires ceremonies, collaborations with people, workshops. And if the thought about you stood in front of a ceremony, and I don't mean it has to be a room full of 50 people. I've got a lady at the moment that I've been speaking to, and she's just done a beautiful cacao ceremony with, I think, no more than 20 people. I don't even think it was that. I think it was much less because that was her first ceremony, and that's what she felt called to do. And the thing
Yep.
is, though, as well, you've got to think as well, audience wise, not some people don't want to sit in like, the MEN arena or a massive great big auditorium with other people. Some people are magnetized to that intimate event. And get yourself used to it. Get yourself, if a cacao ceremony means 5 people sat in your front room, or a workshop, or, means 5 people coming around to your house, or 4 people, then
Yep.
that is you being visible. Get your mind used to just putting yourself out there. And if they've still got some resistance or cringe or fear, again, this all just requires just doing rewiring and reprogramming and like understanding why is it you are fear of being visible. And I will find, and honestly, I've had this with my clients where it might be when obviously we're going through my program, and then there's one where we do timeline work, and it was because They were forced to be like the lead part on a stage when, you know, when they were like 6 in primary school, and because they got forced to put on stage, they've got the fear on them then that like they're going to be feel sick again putting themselves out there. And that's what I'm saying. This is why we have to do the reprogramming work, because if you're trying to ignore this work and not work with a coach or even do the work yourself and are still trying to push through the barrier, it's, you could make yourself be visible, but the energy of doing it is going to be forced because you're not going to be enjoying it, because your mind is going to be playing over that scene of, do you remember when you were forced to be like Mary at the nativity and you didn't want to do it, and you're like, you fell over the donkey and all the parents were laughing? Like, that scene is playing around in your head because this is how the subconscious mind works. It holds on to these memories. You might not be able to remember it on a conscious level, but your subconscious does. And all those feelings of everyone laughing at you, I am just spitballing this now, but all the feelings of like being upset and all this and all that, those are what your body are holding on to, which is why we do the energy work, which is why we do the rewiring, the reprogramming, the releasing, to clear all that crap out, so that literally you just stood there and it's like, right, okay, I'm ready to go visible now. And it's like you've wiped the slate clean. So then your experience of holding space and being on a stage in front of people is a positive one, because your mind isn't drudging up that negative memory from the past and having negative associations and doubts and fears with it, etc. So yeah, if there is resistance to you putting yourself out there visibly in person, either obviously reach out and DM me, or sit and do the work yourself. Try it, just ask yourself, go within, like, where's this resistance coming from? When is the memory of this first resistance that came up? Like, try and piece it for yourself, because once you see that, feel it, heal it, deal it, dissipate it, then you can blossom and bloom and move forward with vitality and yeah, visibility. So
All the
yeah,
V's. All
all the
the
bees,
V's.
girl.
So I love that. So I just want to touch on more ways as well that you can put yourself out there in person. Now you can become more visible in person, right? Because there's actually a lot of ways. Yeah, it's great to do social media, but it's also great to do in person. Now, the ideal, I would say, is actually doing both, because they all build on one another, right? Because the reason why I love online and why I love YouTube, okay, is because we're reaching people all over the world. And I work with quite a lot of international clients now, so I love that. But I also really, really believe in the power of local community and getting known in your, the local places where you go to and live. So there's networking opportunities, like spiritual networking or business networking. There's those types of things that you can look at. And obviously it's going to depend where you live as well, because I get it, if you're out in the country, in the sticks somewhere, then it's going to be more difficult. But there are mind, body, spirit events all over the country now, and probably abroad as well. So where you can have a stall. So I've done a lot of that, like especially in the first year to 18 months. Having a spiritual stall where I did like angelic Reiki and then light language. And what I would always say when you do a mind, body, spirit event is, if you can, do a talk, because the talks are what they will end up getting you clients, okay? And people will get to know you through doing them. And even if it feels challenging, it's about putting yourself out there. So another way is, like Jenny was saying, you can just have people in your living room. So me and my mum's an amazing medium. So in our first year of business, probably like 5 years ago or something, maybe it was more than that, it would have been more than that, but like in the first couple of years, we ran spiritual development groups twice a week from our living room. And that really helped us to build up a good client base in our area. And we still have our angelic Reiki attunement workshops from here now. Okay. So don't as well you think that it's an excuse that you've not got the space, because literally we have things in our living room. You can have a few people in your living room. I mean, I guess it depends if you rent in and then you're not allowed to, because we do have our own house. So I guess that is not an excuse. But there's always a way, is what I'm getting at. And another way that I really want to say as well is, go to spiritual events. Don't go there inauthentically with the intention of getting clients. but go there because you really want to go there and make friends with genuine spiritual people. Because I've done that, and honestly, so many clients have gravitated to, because you're getting to know more people, and as you get to know more people authentically, people are going to say, oh yeah, you know, Amy does such and such, Jenny does such and such, and they're going to refer people to you. Go to those places because you are in the energy of what it is that, you know, you want to do, and you're immersing yourself in the energy of like-minded people. So there's so many ways, and I'm trying to think, because there are a lot more ways as well, like there's so many ways. Like, can you think of more ways to do stuff in person?
I've just done an event where I was a keynote speaker as well. Like,
Yeah,
once you start being visible, it's like a little bit of a snowball effect then,
yeah,
because when you are kind of seen as an expert in your field, people will be like, right, okay, I want you to come and speak at this event. So, and no matter how big or small the events are, they start to kind of roll in, if that makes sense, because
yes,
you get known for that. And again, it's just about like how we are now, just on this podcast, we're just showing up and being ourselves. And
yeah,
it's not worrying about, yeah, but if I'm this way, they might not like me, or if I'm that way, they'll turn me off. They won't want to work with me. It's like, it's just about being comfortable being you, because when people really like that and love that, this is when you're going to attract people, and you'll be booked for the right events, if that makes sense. Because there's nothing worse than being booked for an event that doesn't align with you. And again, if you do experience anything like this, it is a learning curve. It's just about knowing, right, okay, I send love to the situation and I release it. And I know for next time that that's not the kind of event that I want to be doing. So, but just as long as you keep showing up and just being 100% yourself, then the right people then will want to book you because they've seen the real you and not the version of you you're pretending to be, if that makes sense. So I always say to my clients, it's like, it's so much more work pretending to be something you're not and to show up inauthentically than just to be your natural self.
yeah.
It's not actually hard. It's our mindset behind it that's saying to us, but they might not like us, but they might not do this. And there's fear and there's doubt. So it's just getting rid of all that. Allow your energy to shine, to flow, be visible, and let your business go.
Oh, I feel like that's a really nice place to finish it. Do you?
I
Yeah.
concur.
Yeah. Finish it with a little bit of song from Jen, you know.
I've had to hold so much in this entire time, honestly. Like the amount of like things where I'm like, I want to sing about that, I want to do that. So yeah, I have to hold so much in.
she just she just do a singing podcast, and maybe that's what you need to do. Maybe you need to do like a podcast of singing.
Singing podcast. Do it.
So, yeah, on that note, then, if you have enjoyed today's message, please like and subscribe. If you are a spiritual business owner or looking to start your own spiritual business, please do comment below and let us know if there's anything that you would like for us to talk about, because we're more than happy to create content on all of these subjects. And yeah, please share with anybody, if I've not already said this, that you may think will benefit from this. So we're sending you lots of love and blessings.
I like whispering too. And yeah, we shall see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.